Hello, I'm Dixon Siu from Personium Project. Thank you for attending this session. Today I will talk about how Personium can provide better user experience by combining decentralized identifier and verifiable credentials. I'm a software engineer and work for Fujitsu Limited in Japan. You can contact me using LinkedIn or Twitter. I've been working in personal data field for several years and actively contribute to Mydata activities globally. I'm also involved in the founding of Japan, Korea, and Taiwan hubs, supporting open data NGOs in Asia, participate in white papers like the European Medical Writers Association, and decentralized storage like Swan. Just some promotion for coming Mydata event. This year, because of the COVID-19 issue, Mydata will host an online conference from December 10th to 12th. Here are the 4 topics I will talk about. First, I will briefly talk about Mydata and its recent activities. Then, I will give an overview of Personium. I will also talk about why combining PDS and DID is good. Finally, I will talk about Personium's involvement with OmniOne project. Let me tell you what is Mydata and its recent activities. Mydata Global is a non-profit community that operates all over the world in local hubs and thematic groups. It has close to 100 organization members and 400 individual members from over 40 countries on 6 continents. Mydata movement involves 3 important shifts regarding personal data: actionable rights, data empowerment, and open ecosystem. First shift is from formal to actionable rights. In many countries, individuals have enjoyed legal data protection for decades, yet their rights have remained closely formal. We want true transparency and truly informed consent to become the new normal. Second shift is from data protection to data empowerment. Instead of protecting the individual with regulations, we intend to change common practice towards a situation where individuals are both protected and empowered to use the data. Third shift is from closed to open ecosystem. By letting individuals control what happens to their data, we intend to create a truly free flow of data, freely decided by individuals, free from global choke points, and to create balance, fairness, diversity, and competition in the digital economy. Mydata also defines 4 roles in the Mydata model. A person is an individual that manages the use of their own personal data for their own purposes and maintains relationships with other individuals, services, or organizations. A data source collects and processes personal data, which the other roles, including persons, may wish to access and use. A data using service can be authorized to fetch and use personal data from one or more data sources. A personal data operator enables individuals to securely access, manage, and use their personal data, as well as to control the flow of personal data with and between data sources and data using services. On April 29th, Mydata Global published the white paper Understanding Mydata Operators to further define the functional elements needed to become a Mydata operator. For example, Personium concentrates on the 3 blue functional elements: data model management, personal data transfer, personal data storage. After a lengthy application review and peer review meeting on July 29th, Mydata Operator Awards were given to the 16 organizations from around the world. Personium is honored to be one of the 16 awardees. Mydata Operator 2020 Award recognized operators of human-centric structure for personal data management and sharing. It acknowledged organizations that place the individual at the center of the personal data about them, ensuring that they are the prime beneficiary of the use of this data, and providing tools to help them manage personal data. Let me give you an overview of Personal Data Store and Personium. We can kind of categorize the data ecosystem into 3 different models: API ecosystem, platform model, and Mydata model. In API ecosystem, each service has its own APIs, and usually individual cannot manage personal data fully. In platform model, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, also known as GAFA, or sometimes GAFAM when Microsoft is included, have all the controls and usually not welcome interoperability. In Mydata model, the individual is empowered to manage all personal data. It also makes interoperability easy. In order to achieve Mydata model, we would have to shift data management from system-centric to human control. On the left-hand side, data is stored in siloed system. It is built to optimize business benefits. On the right-hand side, data is either stored or accessible from the PDS. It is built to provide better user experience. Personium is an open source platform for personal data store. And I'm proud to say that it's the first and still the only open source PDS from Japan. With the fundamental ideas of Mydata and PDS, Personium is designed to contain 3 layers: unit, cell, and box. Personium unit is like a cluster of PDSs, which we call cells. Each cell owned by an individual who can save data into different designated space called boxes. Let's take a closer look inside the cell. Personium provides RESTful APIs for application developer to implement data managing application. Each application is assigned a secure space, so out-of-scope data access is not allowed by default. Data retrieval of outside sources can be implemented in the process rules component at the bitbox layer. In Personium, data is shared by registering the target PDS URL in the individual's PDS. For example, if I want to share my diet log to my doctor, I just need to register the PDS URL of my doctor and then assign permission to him. Moreover, Personium supports both active and passive data subjects. Full privilege authentication can be configured so that the parent can take control of the PDS of the child until the child is capable of managing the PDS. Pets, cars, communities, and organizations are also supported by Personium. Let me explain why combining PDS and DID is good. Currently, and in the near future, our digital touchpoints will be everywhere, and they all ask me who I am and create redundant Mydata. Scattered digital identities lead us back to the system-centric data managed nightmare again. For a start, PDS can be a cloud wallet in this diagram. Diversity of services can be enabled by exchanging verifiable credentials via individual's PDS. For example, the bank can ask the individual to provide proof of employment and citizenship, which are already available in the PDS. Services that is enabled with PDS alone can only provide recommendations based on limited information. Services enabled with PDS DID VC can be more accurate and high valued because the provided information is trustworthy. Okay, let's see Personium in action. ID password login is supported by default. Sample apps are available for testing PDS functions. Also, OpenID Connect plugin for Google Login is provided on the GitHub. Let me demonstrate how to install an existing app on my board. You can launch it from here without providing ID password because we use OAuth2 throw. Then let's see what I have to do to read Personium Foundation's board. First, I add Personium Foundation as my connection. Then I launch my board to ask for permission. Personium Foundation will get the notice, then approve or reject my request. At my end, I double check later and then access Personium Foundation's node. That's it. Thank you for watching. I would like to introduce Personium's first collaborations with DID and VC. After my first presentation in DID Alliance Korea in July, Alex David from Only One Project contacted me and introduced his super interesting idea of securely sending data between data source and data using service via BDS. After several meetings, we come up with this rough system overview. Here, financial raw data will be saved to the PDS only after the individual verified the identity of the data source. The individual can manage consent and grant the service provider data using service read access only after verifying its identity. Personium team is very interested in this proof of concept because we can create different SDK to support different verifiable credentials from different vendors. Of course, we would expect DID Alliance to push for DID VC standards to achieve real interoperability between organizations. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And to end this session, I would like to play one of the promotion video of Personium. Please enjoy.